we go. All right, so welcome to the event. We've already voted on the boss, so essentially, I know you've all heard it already, but I just started the actual recording, so I'm just going to be a bit repetitive, and then we'll get started. So essentially, in order to be more educational and more in tune with the bosses that people are likely going to be doing, we'll just start with mechs. We're not looking at no Angel of Death because A, I've never done it, and B, I think you need a good team, like a solid team to do that. So we will not be doing that. So I guess all I need now is just to make sure my auras are all good. Now, if you're wondering why I'm using the Penance aura, people may think like, oh, Vampirism, or I'm not sharing my screen. Oh my god. Oh, well, that's awkward. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now you get to see my face. Okay. Unfortunately for you all. Alright. So yeah, let's get started. So I just need my frozen key, and we'll be on our way. Yeah, restarting recording in 3, 2. Welcome to the Venny Show. I'm never gonna do that again. You're good. Don't worry. Yeah, it was. But the embarrassment is fun. Hey, Cocaine Blues is here. What's up, Johnny Cash? Johnny Cash. Do you have the frozen key? Because if so, I mean, you're welcome to do next with me. Is he in here? No. No, he found me. Forgot to charge it. LOL. Oh, he is here. What name are you hiding under? Oh, it's probably 12DSSS, isn't it? Well, who is he then? He's like the mystery man. Oh, is he disc? No, he's not discombobed. I don't know. It's irrelevant, but anyway, as long as you can hear me, that's really all that matters. So we should be good. Should be here in about 20 minutes. I'll have to go AFK. It's no problem. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So easiest way there is just to really reattune a portal, or since you're gonna do it with me, we can basically just teleport there. So I'll just go ahead and quickly create a group. Invite Cocaine Blues. Can I spell cocaine correctly? I should be able to. There we go. And update group. All right, so once you're ready up, it should just teleport us there. Make sure you have your frozen key on you. Actually, I don't know. No, I think you still need it, even if we teleport there. And then we just need to get the kill count quickly, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So was pretty dead. Headset's charging for a few minutes. I'll go grab it in 5. Okay, so he can't hear me. Okay. Venny add me to the group. Okay. All right, so ready up when he gets to this world. No, stop. Do not. No, I'm not adding you to the group for that specific reason. That is not happening. All right, let's do it up. So ready up. Please. In the group interface. Yay, there we go. Why in the hell? Okay, you know what? Go to War's Retreat. We're going to War's Retreat. Don't ask me. I don't know why I tell it. Oh, right. Yeah. That's such a stupid spot, though. I thought it actually teleported you to, at least within, like, the ice chambers or something, but that's fine. Now, for those who don't know, there are obviously ones that do, but for those who don't, the reason I'm bringing a Hellhound is that, you know, while he does take damage, uh, he effectively takes 20% of the damage that you receive. So if you're kind of new into PVM and you want something to alleviate some of the stress behind the damage that you're taking, a Hellhound is generally like a good way to go. From that point, once you can survive on your own or you don't need the 20% damage reduction, you can then look into things that increase your DPS and so on and so forth. So yeah, so at this point, I guess I have a kill count to quickly get, and we'll just get this done. Try to make it as entertaining as possible. I don't want to bore you all to death or anything. I've done Zuck enough to get 2 of the Zuck capes, but I wouldn't say I have enough experience to like provide like a flawless explanation of it. Actually, I've got a pretty good memory of the waves at this point, with the amount of times that Wishes watched me repeat it until I got it, but... yeah, it's alright. At the end of the day, it's a learning experience, not just for you guys, but for me as well, right? Almost there. Let's just get the kill count and teleport straight to the room. Oh, interesting. That do the robes do that too? Because I know there's that set of robes you were talking about, but I think they make them passive. They don't attack you, but I don't think it skips the kill count. So yeah, we can just do a instanced encounter, or we can do an uninstanced encounter. I don't know if he's listening, so I'm just gonna do uninstance. Oh, yes, we got him. All right. All right, so yeah, what we'll do is we can just do like an uninstanced encounter. I don't really think it matters. If there's other people in there, then we'll just do an instanced encounter. It's fine. So now, while I don't have the most familiarity with Nex, I find Nex overall to be an interesting boss. So effectively, there's going to be 4 different people around the room. As you can see, she's calling out their names. And throughout the process, you should be prey flicking depending on what you're fighting or what stage of the fight that you're at. But I should probably overload as well. That would help. Yeah, now I'm going to be taking a lot of the damage on purpose, mainly just to alleviate the stress on anybody else. But so essentially what happens is you're going to get the boss down to a certain amount of health. I'm just going to use Death Skulls to speed things along. And then right here, we need to kill the first one. So as you can see, Johnny Cash here is already on it. So we'll just go ahead and Finger of Death. And then we'll continue on the fight. Now, whenever you see this, it's generally best to just run away. Although I can't seem to have the capability of doing that. Here, run this way a little bit, run this way a little bit. I don't even have Saruman. What am I doing? So as you can see, it's a pretty simple concept. Essentially, in the beginning, you're gonna realize that there's 4 people around the room. Once you get her to a certain point, I'll provoke now because I know this one's gonna hurt a little bit. What did, yeah. Oh, never mind. Shady. Shady got the stun. You can enjoy that. That's that. I normally take that, but that's on you. All right, so now we'll run over to the last one. Nope, I'm gonna go backwards instead. That's much more efficient. And yeah, we'll just get rid of them. Now, I've already put Deathmark on next, so once we get her to about 30,000 life points, she should die. And that's the end of the fight. So, wait, who? Oh, I got a Virtus book? Oh. I have RNG for once. What is going on? 10 mil on a scoreboard. Even though I just bought one of those. But yeah, so essentially, I mean, as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward fight. Streamer luck. But yeah, so like essentially, you know, the boss will spawn. There are different mechanics. So like as you kill each of the 4, I'm gonna call them guardians, I guess, that empower her or whatever. As you fight them, you know, there's different mechanics that are gonna come into play. So if she's praying range, you may want to switch to range. I'm only using Soul Split because I can output enough DPS to kind of keep my health up. But in a normal instance, whatever she's praying, you'll see like the prayer symbol above her head. It's likely best to do the same. And after a few kills, it'll start to make a little more sense. But long story short, it's basically just, you know, get the boss to 160,000 health. At that point, you cannot do any more damage until you kill the first of the 4 guardians, quote unquote. So we'll call them that, I guess. I don't have any official name for it, so that's what we're going with. But yeah, and then you just proceed to do that for each one. And again, if you are doing this as a new PVM'er or you're kind of getting into PVM, again, there will be a prayer symbol above her head, and that prayer symbol will dictate what you should be praying against, essentially. And if you do get trapped in those presents, which normally I think is like ice, but just due to the event, I think melee at that point is best to pray because she'll just whack you. It's either that or it's oh, it's typeless. Okay, so right. Okay, so in that case, typeless damage being something that you can't pray against. So no protective prayer is going to help if the damage is typeless. So in that case, yeah, he's correct. So if you have a power burst of vitality, that will double your HP for 6 seconds. So if you know you're caught in that instance, which I hope it's me that gets caught there, then I can sort of demonstrate that and give you an example. Okay, so we're already at 160k. I think somebody else joined in too, so this is getting interesting. Alright, so we're pretty much up to the last one. Somebody's probably gonna get the stun here. Oh. Alright, so that's dealt with. And then again, same as before. Since I've cast Invoke Death, basically the boss is death marked, so if the boss, say, had 100,000 health, at 20% of the remaining health, they'll essentially just get that death mark and die. However, any boss that is above that amount of health, death mark caps out at 30,000. So, say you're fighting like Solak, which I've done with Wish and Oliver a few times. Effectively, being that the boss has like what 3 million health in a trio, at that point, you know, it's definitely best to. I'm not even wearing my Reaver's ring. I should be doing that. At that point, it's basically best just to have them death marked, you know, and then there's different mechanics for every boss. But so the common misconception too, I'll very quickly explain. If you are using Necro, which I know most aren't, but some are, the Invoke Death incantation. Thank you for explaining this to me before, Wish. It says 12-second duration. It doesn't mean that they're only marked for death for 12 seconds. It basically means that you have 12 seconds to cast a basic attack, which is literally just this attack here. At that point, they're marked for death until they die, effectively. So it's not that you could, like, you have to do it at the end of the fight and, like, be perfect with your timing. You actually want to do it at the beginning of the fight, so that way they're just death marked throughout the entire thing. And then that can vary per boss. But ultimately, in this case, this particular boss, it's the best way to go about it. Or like Zamorak, if you're doing Zamorak below 100% in rage, that would be the best thing to do as well, is just mark them for death in the beginning, just so you don't forget about it, and you save yourself 30,000 life points at the end of the fight that you don't have to do in the form of damage, so... Yeah, like that's usually what I do. I usually cast it and then just hit them with a couple basics and they'll be marked for death for the rest of the fight. Now, of course, with Zamorak going into phase 7, which I will explain later because I don't want to overload with info, everything gets reset, so it kind of makes things a little more complicated. But yeah, I'm completely out of prayer. That's awesome. Alright, so on to the first one. So again, same idea as before. Now again, I'm mainly doing Soul Split because if your DPS is high enough, you don't necessarily have to worry as much about it. And it is good to cast your defenses when you can. As often as you can, really. But ultimately, if you're new to the boss, your best bet is definitely to pray whatever they have against, like, above their head. So, for example, right now I should be praying Mage, right, in order to take the least amount of damage. Should be just about enough here for the next one. Now, there's quite a few of us in here, so it's making it a little bit easier, but again, still, it's the same mechanics regardless of how many people are in here. Oh, there we go now. It's attackable. But basically, it's like getting the boss to a certain health threshold. At that point, you can then, you know, do what you need to do, but... Poor guy is just getting put in that box. I know, it's usually me. It's usually me, but I'll take the streamer's luck, as one of you had said. Alright, so same as before, we essentially just finished DPSing the boss, which I'm not attacking. That would be great. And again, since they were marked from death from the start of the fight, once we get 30k, they're dead. It doesn't matter how much health the boss has. Alright. What? I don't get any drops from anything. What is this even worth? Another 10 mil? Alright, alright, I'll take it. I'll take it. I swear I complain about RNG, and then, like, now that I'm doing this event and, you know, we're all here getting kills, I'm just getting drop after drop. What are Nexus flowers? This is new to me. Oh, it's a collection log thing. Cool. Probably completely useless, but cool nonetheless. Kiwi, if you're in here, I don't think you are, but effectively yes. First item, Shock is the book. That's funny. That's funny. So wait, are we only 2 kills or are we 3 kills deep so far? I haven't been keeping a tally, but right, okay. But yeah, so I mean, I hope that my explanation is making a little more sense now that we're kind of getting onto the 4th kill. I mean, again, essentially the prayer symbol above the head. If you see mage, protect from mage, right? Now, once you all get to a certain point in your DPS, I mean, you can kind of just soul split your way through the whole thing because you're doing enough damage that it's healing you as a result. Especially if you're combining it with either an Amulet of Souls or an Essence of Finality. But again, that would be for a little more on the advanced side. If you're new to this boss, definitely just watch for that prayer symbol above their head and protect from said prayer. So. But I hope it's been educating so far anyway, so. And then eventually we'll move on. Basically every time we do this event or I do these events, I want to do a different boss just so it's not, you know, repetitive or boring or whatever, right? So want to keep it entertaining for the people, you know. I got to keep my people happy. All right, so Split Soul and Death Skulls will do that pretty quick when you got a team. Alright. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and invoke Death. Actually, I think somebody's done it already. Or I might have done it. I have no idea. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna assume the answer is yes, but since I'm streaming my screen, you should be able to see this plugin here to the left of my action bars. Is that correct? Okay, perfect. Now, if you're one of the people who are using Necromancy, it is an amazing all-in-one plugin. It just makes reading your stacks easier and knowing when to spend them, because for every 6 Necrosis stacks that you build, what are you? Next, get back here! None of this nonsense. So essentially, for every 6 Necrosis stacks you have, you can cast 1 Finger of Death essentially for free, right? So at the cost of the 6 stacks, right? So Necromancy in particular is really mainly about just building your stacks and then spending them appropriately and at the correct times. And it will vary per boss, right? I mean, Necromancy is not the most optimal on every boss. However, it is definitely very viable on quite a few. At least a lot of them that are DPS oriented solely. So let's just go ahead and finish the fight off. There we go. Did I get more streamers luck or 30 Saradomin Brew 4s. Let's go, baby. I know it's terrible. If anybody wants these, where I'm standing currently, I will. I'm just gonna take like 1 in a super restore because my prayer seems to be going away. I'm not taking enough damage for the penance aura to be restoring my prayer fast enough. So, but yeah. So I mean, again, I hope it's starting to make more sense as the kills go on. Essentially, the boss spawns. You get them to a certain point in their health. Again, I know I'm being repetitive, but that's how one learns. And I'm not going to go over the protect from whatever thing again because I've already said that like 4 times. And you kill whatever guardian, I'm going to call them, that's in the corners. Yes, it is possible. It is possible, Shady. I mean, I'm not like some amazing PVM'er. I mean, Wish has, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Has done a solo on Zamorak, I think at like 900%, or you say like 910 or something, I believe. But regardless, I mean, it's. I normally will farm around like 150% because it's normally fairly easy for me to do. However, for some reason today, when I had Cheer and I had Shady watching me, I was just like absolutely doing terrible at 150. So at the end of this, I'm gonna go up to 200 and either do terrible or get the kill. So we'll see what happens. It's all good, my friend. It's all good. I was talking about you, yeah. I was just talking about like the enrage of like just like solo Zamorak kills and stuff, but because at the end of it, a few of them voted that they wanted me to go for a solo kill, and Oliver put the pressure on me too. So okay, so I don't have to abide by that. Awesome. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. It's fine if he doesn't. I appreciate that you mentioned it anyway, so we'll go ahead and mark him for death. I'll just use Death Skulls to... Never mind. Worst time to use it because I got stunned and the first one's available. Oh, yay, that mechanic. Leave me alone. I should probably get in the fight. Mr. PVM host. Get in the fight. So, for anybody that is using Necro, and again, I'm only speaking on Necro so much, not because I'm trying to drive people to it, as there are other combat methods that are equally as viable, if not more viable, depending on the circumstance and what you're fighting. However, again, with spending the stacks appropriately, because I could go ahead and cast my Death Guard, or Death Grasp spec, but it's going to eat all of my Necrosis stacks. Whereas a Finger of Death can be cast for free once, and then again twice, and then I can use the Death Guard spec. And it will do less damage. Oh, I'm the one trapped in the box. Trapped in the box. But yeah, so essentially, like, you could do one of two things. So if you had the plugin or you just watch your stacks in the buff bar, for every dot you see, for example, like this section of 3 and then the other section of 3 with this plugin, those are essentially my Necrosis stacks, right? And the 5 dots being my souls. So let's, what did I get something else? No, okay. I have no idea. But anyway, so yeah, essentially, with your Necrosis stacks, you want to spend them in the right order and spend them accordingly, right? So essentially, you're going to do more damage, long story short, if you were to have, say, 12 Necrosis stacks. Sure, you could use your Death Grasp and hit a 30,000, which is the tier 70 or above special attack. Or, which I find tends to do more damage, is you can just do Finger of Death twice at no adrenaline cost, and then even though your Death Grasp ability will do less damage, it'll still do collectively with the 2 Fingers of Death more damage than you would have done wasting all stacks on Death Grasp. Because I think Death Grasp caps out at 30,000, whereas you can hit like 12, 15k with 2 Fingers of Death, and then like another 15 to 20k with the Death Grasp ability. So just a little information in terms of like how to spend said stacks that you gain and when to use them. Same with the souls too. I mean, like if you have 2 out of 5 souls or 2 out of 3, 2 is okay to use, but ideally you want to have your volley of soul stacks as high as your lantern allows. The only lantern that does allow the 5 would be the soulbound lantern, which is like a bill, but all the other lanterns allow 3, so ideally it's worth getting that 3rd one because you will ultimately just do more damage. And in bossing, that is the point, is doing more damage so you can kill stuff. So here, for example, Finger of Death. I won't get a chance to because there's a team here, but just casting the abilities correctly or in the right order is, again, it's just more efficient for your damage output. Because if I were to have 12 Necrosis stacks and then just use Death Grasp, which is the special attack, then at that point I'm just wasting 12 Necrosis stacks. You still are probably going to do like 25 to 30,000 damage, but I would rather do 15,000 damage twice and then do another 20,000 damage. Mathematically, you're just doing more. So, and at a lesser adrenaline cost as well, so. What are these things doing here? Cute. What in the hell? Oh, nice. That was the biggest waste of split soul ever. And I'm running all the way around again. This is nice. Apparently you get good agility experience as well with with next. Oh. Let me go. There we go. And then again, at this point, it's pretty much just finishing the fight off, right? So, again, once we get her down to 30,000, should be about right now, she dies. Oh, look at that. I got 25 whole kills on next. You can tell I don't do this boss a ton. I understand the mechanics and how they operate, but I just don't really do a whole lot of next. I was mainly trained to die like 100 times on Zamorak before I got anywhere, so. Okay, I'm dark again. What? What do you mean, Shady? What are you saying, dog? Oh, my apologies, my apologies. But anyway, I hope it's so far at this point that it's been relatively educational. I mean, most people that are here obviously know the mechanics of next, but for those who don't, I hope that the learning experience has been so far valuable, and I haven't been a complete waste of everybody's time. But at the end of the day, we're just here to learn and have fun, and you know, the more you know, the more you can do. So. So who do we have here now? We've got Johnny Cash and the shadiest cat I've ever met in my life. Yes, thank you. Somebody got the reference. Somebody got the reference. I'll go. I appreciate it. It's an old meme. All right. I'm old. I'm an old soul. It's an old meme. It had to happen. Thank you for bringing it out. Yes. Okay. I'm glad. I was hoping somebody caught that. I was like, I'm gonna sound like an idiot, which is the case most of the time anyway. Or, uh, it's an old meme, sir, but it checks out. I'm just gonna call you too young. I never. Nobody said that. Alright, so that should get us to Fumos. There we go. Finger death. Finger death. I'm putting on auto retaliate for this one. It's kind of annoying. You know what? No, I'm not. Yeah. Most bosses you generally don't want to do auto retaliate. It's not the most viable thing, but in certain instances it can definitely be helpful for sure, so. Like in this one where I keep forgetting to actually click the thing that I'm trying to kill, it might be a little more useful, but again, it's better to get into the habit of being reactive, and you know, with auto retaliate off, you're kind of forced to be a little more reactive, and that will ultimately make one better at PVM in general. The quicker you can react to things and the quicker that you can act, the better off everything goes. So that was a fairly poor use of my stacks. I could have waited a little bit, but I mean, I know the fight's gonna end soon anyway, as there's enough of us here to do that. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I hope at this point, A, again, it's been educational enough, and B, that people have at least learned a little bit about, you know, what's going on and kind of, you know, what really entails the whole next fight, right? So, and like once you get the hang of it and stuff, it's really not as complicated as it may initially seem. It's just the fear. I learned about streamer luck. Did you get something? Which corner do you? Oh yeah, right. So like that's a good point. Like as I was saying earlier, and this will add to what he's trying to say and what he has said. Essentially, spending your necrosis stacks and your souls. Basically, the whole concept of necromancy as a whole is to build your stacks and spend them accordingly and spend them correctly. So he made a very good point where we're phasing the boss too quickly to the point where we've wasted those stacks, and then we're killing the quote unquote guardians. I'm just gonna call them because I don't know what else to call them. We're killing them too slowly, which ultimately would affect your kill speed, right? So, oh, I didn't know that actually. Okay. So yeah, so basically, you know, I'll use like, I mean, I'll use death skulls and stuff. I mean, that's fine, but like, I'll save my necrosis stacks and souls and everything, and as will Shady's here with me as well. So I'm not sure if yeah, we're both using necros. So Pull me in, baby. Alright, so yeah, so essentially the same idea right there. So I don't have nearly as many souls as I would like, but at least I can do Finger of Death twice and then cast at least a couple souls just to get the fight continuing on. We'll go ahead and hit her with Blow too. I'm going to mark her for death just so I'll die again at 30,000, but... So what I'm going to do for this one, so since we're already on Umbra, I'm going to go ahead and use Death Skulls. I probably should have split souled there, but that's fine. Because the bot, it should die fast enough to where a couple will hit next as well. I don't know if that worked or not, but... Don't punch me. Leave Brittany alone. That's an old one. If you get that meme, you're definitely in the right age group. Really? There we go. Now, one thing as well about Necro is that when you're in... Oh, I pressed the wrong key. That was my bad. Well, that was kind of a fail. I was trying to demonstrate something and I failed miserably, but... so, anytime that you enter Living Death... Now, this is only more viable, in my opinion, and I think Wish would agree as well. But... It's more viable when you have the Necromancy Zuck cape, because when you do, at that point, your Death Skulls is only going to cost you 60% as opposed to 100% Adrenaline. So ideally, you cast that at the very beginning of the fight, and then you've got 40% Adrenaline to rebuild until you can enter what's called Living Death. Which is the same as like your Death Swiftness for range and other abilities like that, right? It's an ultimate ability. Fuck, they did it again! Can you not right now? Oh my god, I'm gonna have a stroke. Okay, this happened last time. Can you not? I like pink nipples, brown nipples, dragging on the ground. You did it last time! Man, how am I supposed to educate people when you're educating me on shitty ass music under my door? Okay, alright. Sorry about that. That's the second time that's happened. Every time I do these events, they decide to... Last time it was Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Ashley, so that was entertaining. I'm assuming everybody could hear that, or was it not audible? Okay, alright. Well, that kind of makes it disappointing, because, yeah, they were playing... Like, I don't know. I thought it was shitty music, but either way, they were playing something. I don't know. It was just something. They did this last time, too. They put a speaker under my door. And, like, they'll wait till they can hear me, like, explaining something, and then they'll just, like, play. Like, they'll just blast, like, whatever. It's hilarious. But I guess, like, with my microphone that I have now, it's probably more, If I had the gain cranked, you would have heard it, but, that's probably not ideal, so... So yeah, we'll just go ahead and pretend like that didn't happen, and I didn't have to like run away and be like, what the hell are you doing? So yeah, we've already phased the boss to the point where we need to be. I don't have as many stacks as I would like, but again, that's fine. We can just go ahead and spend them accordingly. If I don't have 6 necrosis stacks, I try at all costs to avoid using it. So let's go ahead and do this. That by itself should do enough damage to make Umbra attackable. Alright, so I've only got 6 necrosis stacks, so I'll just spend 1, and then we'll do volley. Oh, thank you for that. We'll just use volley on her then. There we go. How would the volley heal her? Well, you know what? That just means I get to beat her up more, and she's on the chase, so. Alright, so now I've got everything I need. So I've got my 12 necrosis stacks, so I spent 1 on her. Spend that, and then the volley will not even need to get used. So we'll go ahead and use it on her. Actually, probably not a good idea. I might heal her. Who knows? There we go. Ah, damn it. These are Christmas gifts, alright? And that should end the fight. I'll just take my hands off the keyboard, I guess. But yeah, so, I mean, at this point, I think that, for the most part, it's starting to make a little more sense to everybody. So, being that I'm actually going through my brews, because we've been just running kill after kill, I'll actually take a couple of these. Very astute point. I appreciate it. All right. Well, based on her very valid suggestion, so far, are you guys learning anything? Am I blabbering? Am I not making any sense at all? Am I speaking a foreign language? So far, so good? Because, I mean, it would kind of defeat the whole purpose for me to try to teach anybody something if you weren't learning anything, right? So. Can I get some of these? I don't need these files. Well, yeah, and that's kind of my whole prerogative behind doing these events in general is that although like some bosses are going to be more complicated to explain, and it may take. Oh, you did not. Oh no. Oh. What is your plan? Oh. All right, like this dude could just wipe the floor with everything, but at the end of the day, like I feel like he's got some slippery trick up his sleeve to make this a little more difficult. And if you do, I am all for it. I'm kind of excited. I'm scared of whatever your malicious plan is, but I'm excited. Putting some Dutch in there, yeah. All right. But yeah, so that's kind of the whole point of these events is to because like again, Cheer made a very good point is that bossing is a fun part of the game in my opinion, and I'm noticing now that there's a uptake or an increase. I actually don't have any more overloads, so that's fine. You know, I'm just trying to show other people that the passion that I have in PVM exists for a reason, and that it can be fun. But the reason people don't generally get into it is again because of the intimidation factor, right? And I completely get that. I probably died between solos and duos like well over 100 times at Zamrak, just trying to learn it. But like, I guess I wasn't able to prove it to Shady earlier today. But yeah, normally at this point now, that's mainly what I do. If I'm not doing binding contracts to make money, I'll essentially just run like 150% solos, which are nothing like crazy impressive, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's. I mean, you know, if you can do a kill in 8 minutes per se, you're getting, you know, 4 to 6 mil in common drops, and there's a thing called bad luck mitigation. So, for every time you don't get a rare drop, you essentially are increasing your chance of getting a rare drop. And I kind of spent that wrong, but that's fine. Yes. Right, and I mean, again, that's kind of the whole point of these of this event. Really, is to demonstrate that anybody can do it if you put your mind to it, and it's intimidating. So, demonstrating the mechanics that exist behind bossing or certain bosses will generally add a little bit more comfort for that particular person. You know what I mean? So. Now, if someone doesn't know what War's Retreat is, it's essentially an unlockable teleport. I believe you need a. Oh, I'm gonna have to like actually murder myself here. Yeah, I have like minus 16 in all stats. Oh no, I can super restore. Oh, she's dead. Good job. Thank you guys. Yeah. So essentially, I guess I should have been a little more clear earlier. So War's Retreat, most people do have that teleport. However, if you don't, you can get there via Death's office. There's a door. Yeah, I'll do one more kill and then I'll embarrass myself at Zamrak or something. But essentially, yeah. So with War's Retreat, if you don't have the teleport unlocked, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's either a 10 or 20 boss kill. That could be like King Black Dragon, you know, something with like 20,000 health, or Jads as well. If you've done the Kiln Cave, which I guess would be a little past, you would know about War's Retreat before you're doing the Kiln Cave, so I'll skip that one. But ultimately, yeah. So as long as you can get 10 or 20, you know, take it with a grain of salt. At that point, you can enter Death's office via the Drain or Lodestone, and then just go to War's Retreat through the. There's a door just like to the left, and you talk to the guy right there. His name's War. So you talk to War, and then you just buy the teleport essentially. So, and it teleports you to that area where you've seen the crystals and all that. Now most people know that, but for the very few that don't, that is something that I should have elaborated on. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Draenor Lodestone is right outside. All right, so yeah, once again, we'll just I just want World 48 FFS. You mean you want to be in World 48? Oh no, what are you doing? I don't trust you. What are you up to? Yes, you are. Oh my god. Oh boy. I feel like you have some malicious plan up your sleeve. I knew that was what it was because you mentioned a healing mechanic. I was like, he's gonna try to like invert that and like actually intentionally heal her. How much were you planning on healing the boss? Jeez. No, I should have already invoked death. Yep. So basically, I guess at this point, this will probably be. I mean, we're kind of at the hour mark now anyway, and trying to tank Venny. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, hey, challenge accepted. I'll take the challenge, but yeah. So, did anybody else besides me actually get any decent drops? Oh, speaking of which, I got the drop somehow. What'd you get? Does it say? Why am I not seeing it? Oh, magic locks. Yeah, I got those too. I got them once, and then I just keep getting Ceridome and Bruise, so whatever. That helped. But yeah, so I guess that's basically that's more or less it for next. I mean, I don't want to bore you guys too much, so at this point we have one of two options. I can either go ahead and try to embarrass myself at Zamorak, or being that the event has been going on for about an hour now, we've reached the conclusion of tonight's event. So if you're content with what you've learned and you're tired of hearing me talk, which I don't blame you, you're more than welcome to leave. If you want to stick around, I can embarrass myself, or I can. Either way, it's totally fine. But long story short, event's concluded. So if you want to stick around, just let me know, and I can do like one run, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, no, you're very welcome. And I know that was a little more explaining than last time, but again, I hope it was clear and educational. And I do have this pre-recorded as well, so I will upload this somewhere. And at any point, if you want to go back and review a couple things, because I do tend to talk a little quick, you are more than welcome to do that. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know, like, should I make a Twitch channel, a YouTube channel? Like, is that really, do I want to be one of those guys? Would that be a thing? Twitch. Yeah, no, I agree. And actually OBS, which I'm using now, works with Twitch anyway, so for that streamer, like, yeah. All right, so essentially, thank you for all that attended. The couple that left, I didn't get a chance to thank them, but thank you for all that attended. If you want to stick around for like 10 minutes and see me either die or do something really cool, you're more than welcome to. If not, you can feel free to leave. And again, I appreciate all of the attendance and the support. So if you do want to stick around, I'll do one run. I might die, I might not. But either way, just let me know in the chat, and we'll have to be re-upped. Yeah, like I'll re-upload the video. Yeah, exactly. So